All right, let's talk about something that is, without a doubt, one of the most important parts of our job as music educators: safeguarding. Now, this isn't just about rules and regulations. It's truly the foundation of everything we do. It's what allows our students to explore, to create, and to fall in love with music in a space where they feel completely safe and supported. So here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll lay the foundation of what safeguarding really means for you. Then we'll get into a really important distinction, being proactive versus being reactive. After that, we'll look at the specific risks you might encounter, cover the core principles that guide our actions, and finish up by talking about your ongoing responsibility as a professional. Okay, so first things first. Let's really pin down what we mean when we say safeguarding. It's a term that gets thrown around a lot, but we need to see it for what it is, an absolutely essential part of our professional practice.
At its heart, safeguarding is this proactive process. It's not about waiting for something to go wrong. It's about building a safe, supportive world for our students from the get-go. We're talking about protecting their health, their well-being, and their fundamental right to be safe from harm. It's not an add-on. It's part of the deal of being a great teacher.
And here's something that's so important to remember. Our duty of care isn't just for kids. It also covers what are known as adults at risk. This could be a student with a learning disability or any condition that makes them more vulnerable. Our protective umbrella has to be big enough for everyone we teach.
Next up, let's break down two key ideas you'll hear all the time in this space. Honestly, understanding the difference between these two is everything when it comes to getting safeguarding right.
Here's the best way to think about it. Safeguarding is the fence you build at the top of a cliff. It's all the proactive stuff, your code of conduct, clear boundaries, safe teaching spaces, all designed to stop anyone from falling in the first place. Child protection, on the other hand, that's the ambulance waiting at the bottom of the cliff. It's the essential, reactive response you take after a concern has been raised or something has already happened. We want to live in the world of the fence, not the ambulance.
All right, now we have to get practical. Knowing the theory is one thing, but what are we actually safeguarding our students from? The science can be surprisingly subtle, especially in the unique, often one-on-one context of a music lesson. So knowing what to look for is absolutely critical.
So when we talk about abuse and neglect, what are we actually looking for? Well, it generally falls into four main categories, and we need to be aware of all of them to be effective.
First up is physical abuse. And this is more than just the obvious stuff like hitting. In a music lesson, we often use physical touch to guide posture or correct hand position. It's a normal part of teaching, but it's also where the line can get blurry, sometimes without us even realizing it.
Take this example. You might tap out a rhythm on a student's hand to help them feel it. Your intention is purely educational, right? But that action crosses a professional boundary. It's an inappropriate use of physical contact, and it can absolutely be defined as physical abuse, regardless of the intent.
Then you have emotional abuse, which can be incredibly destructive. This is about ongoing mistreatment that chips away at a person. In our world, it might look like using humiliation or sarcasm as a teaching tool, or just constant, harsh criticism that absolutely crushes a student's confidence and, frankly, their love for music.
We also must be vigilant about sexual abuse. This covers any inappropriate contact, sexually charged comments, or the very sinister process of grooming. And right alongside this is neglect. Now, neglect is more passive, but it's just as harmful. It's the failure to meet a student's basic needs, whether that's ignoring their clear distress or leaving them unsupervised in a potentially unsafe space.
And in today's world, so much of our teaching has moved online, which opens up a whole new set of risks. We have to be on guard against things like cyberbullying between students, exposure to inappropriate content, online grooming, and the huge issue of data security and privacy for all our lesson recordings and communications.
Okay, so we've identified the risks, and I know it can feel a bit heavy. But now, let's get to the good part, the solutions. Let's build your professional playbook. These are the core principles that give you the tools to create and maintain a truly safe environment.
So, effective safeguarding is really built on 10 core principles. But instead of just reading you a list, let's focus on what they actually mean in practice. What do you need to do?
The number one principle is simple, and it's totally non-negotiable. You report concerns. If you see something, hear something, or just have that gut feeling that something isn't right, you must act. And you must act immediately. Find out who your designated safeguarding lead, your DSL, is, and follow the reporting procedure to the letter. There is zero room for hesitation here.
And this brings us to a really critical point about confidentiality. We all want our students to trust us, of course, but a child's safety will always come before privacy. You have to be upfront about this. If a student tells you they are being abused, you cannot promise to keep it a secret. You have a professional duty to report it so they can get the help they need.
You can see how all these principles weave together to create this bubble of safety, right? It means every decision you make is student-focused. It means maintaining crystal-clear professional boundaries. It means fostering transparency. Simple things like keeping the door open or teaching in a visible area. And it means working with other professionals. It's about building an entire culture of safety.
And this responsibility extends everywhere. It's about your personal and ethical conduct, but it's also about your digital conduct. That means using secure online platforms, keeping your professional and personal social media accounts totally separate, and having clear, agreed-upon rules for any physical contact, like always asking for permission before you guide a student's hand.
All right, as we start to wrap this up, there's one last critical idea I really want to drive home. Safeguarding is not a one-and-done training course you tick off a list. It is an ongoing, continuous practice for your entire career. And that final principle? It's all about accountability and continuous professional development. We have to hold ourselves accountable. It means we have to stay curious, stay updated on the latest guidance and laws, and commit to regular training. It's about never thinking you know it all.
Because if there's one thing you take away from all of this, let it be this. Creating a safe environment is a team sport. It's a collective responsibility. It's shared between us as teachers, with parents, and with the schools or institutions we work for. You are a vital, indispensable part of that protective network.
We know that safeguarding is a collective effort. So we'll leave you with this question to really reflect on. What is your specific part to play? What is your role in building that fence at the top of the cliff?